Okay, so thanks for being here again. Let's close our eyes for a moment. Jim Collins says, you carry the cure within you. Everything that comes your way is blessed. The Creator gives you one more day. Stand on the neck of the freeful mind. Do not wait to open your heart. Let yourself go into the mystery. Sometimes the threads have no weaves. The price of not loving yourself is high. So I would encourage you, as you go through the practice, to make sure that you're loving yourself as you go through the practice. Okay, so nice long spine. Okay, now I'll lock the meeting so nobody gets in. Okay, and if you're not in a cross-legged position, go ahead and find a cross-legged position. Okay, I think I muted everybody. So when you come in, try to have your videos off and your mute button. I can usually mute you. So we're in a cross-legged position. And then I am going to start on time. We're going to make some circles. So try to come into the meeting a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes before, because then I'm going to lock the meeting. You won't be able to get in. Okay, that's just because I'm getting ready to start and record it. And then reverse the other direction. And I usually set it up like a half an hour before, so you might be in the waiting room, but you can go do what you got to do, then come back in time, but you'll be at least in the yoga class. Okay. And the next time you come around, let's slow it down. So have support if you need support. We're going to take both hands over towards that right knee. And we're going to round back into like a cat pose, chin in towards the chest. And then as you inhale, we'll open up the torso and look up to the ceiling. Okay? So basically a little off to the side, doing a few cat and cow. So this is a very gentle therapeutic practice. And I'm trusting if you need a little bit more than that, you will do it, or if you need a little less, a couple more of these on this side. Then you'll honor your body's needs. And if you can't sit cross-legged, you could go into bound angle. Good. Next time, we'll come back to center. Taking both hands over towards the left knee so it becomes a little bit of a twist, and we'll round back into a child, chin in towards the chest, or rather a cat pose, and then we'll look up and open the chest. Exhale, we'll round back, chin in towards the chest as much as you can go, and then inhale. Okay, about 2 more times here. Should feel a little different because you're in this twist doing a cat and cow pose. Last one. Happy Friday to everybody. Good. Next time you come up, we'll go ahead and extend those legs out. Let's take them in a little bit of a V shape. You can sit on blankets or not. Going to interlace the hands. You can bend the knees if you need to. We're going to go around and make some circles. So we did this before with cross-leg positions. That was in the hips. Now we get the hips and the back of the legs as we really reach and stretch forward. Okay, so have any props around, as you know, and then we'll reverse, go around the other direction. You know, the more you lean forward, you're going to feel it more in those legs. One more time around. You're stirring your lunch after yoga. And then we'll come back to center. So here we're going to keep the hands interlaced. Again, if you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. I'm going to take the arms up, lift up out of the waist, then exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, nice straight spine. If you have to separate the hands, you can do that as well. On the exhalation, come on down. Last time, keep those legs active, toes and knees up. And the next time, bring the arms down. Relax the arms and bring the feet into bound angle. And here, just very lightly, not on your knees, but above those, press your thighs down a little bit and relax your neck and shoulders. Okay, so you're opening up the hips just a little bit. Then take your hands on the outside and bring the knees together. You can use your hands, but what we're going to do is lift one foot off the ground and the other. Those of you who don't need to use your hands, you could have them out front. It's kind of like a very gentle upward boat, or I can keep the hands underneath to help that leg if it feels extra heavy today. And then I'm going to invite you to lift both feet off the ground. And then you can tap the toes down, bring the toes off, tap them down, bring them up, working the lower part of your abs a little bit, hip flexors. One more time. Good. And then separate the feet. And we're going to drop both legs over towards the right. Now, only if your knee will allow you, you can bring this right foot up onto the top thigh. And then that makes it, that back knee come down towards the floor. So on or off, your choice. You might feel it in the groin a little bit here. Take the foot off. Let's travel over to the other side. Again, I'm trying to get that back knee down, but it might not get down. If I want to weight it a little bit, I'll put my heel on top of that. And you can just come up onto your fingers in the back or palms. Okay, take that off and bring the knees back to center. Let's come on all fours. For some reason, if you cannot be on your knees, you can sit on your buttocks, mimic this in whatever way you can, or sometimes even sitting in a chair, you'll be able to do this. So if you need padding for your knees, take padding for your knees. I want to go into a little bit of feet here. So in this table position, we're going to pick up our feet and rotate the ankles. So on Thursday, I had a class for better balance, and some of you were in that class. But I want to work with some of that balancing today, but not just physically balancing, but help us to mentally balance as well. Make sure you reverse the rotation. And then I'm going to sit back into child and then come forward and then go back into child. You can bring the head down a little further if you need to, and back into table. In this table position, I know somebody's just wanting hips, so we're going to take the right knee out to the side, pause, and bring it back down. Don't rush it, bring it up, hold it for a second or two, and bring it back down. You can be on your forearms if it doesn't work for your wrist, but I'd like you to pause when you lift that leg up. Try not to lean over to the left, okay? Keep your arms straight and strong. Next time you bring the knee up, just stay here for 2 seconds, press down through your arms, lift up through your navel, and then go ahead and make just 2 circles, maybe 3. Roll the knee around. Good. Bring that down. Getting that all warmed up. Let's go to the other side. So take the left knee out to the side. Try not to lean. Pause. Bring the knee back down. Lift the leg back out. Pause and bring it down. Okay, a couple more. Lift it up higher. If you don't feel anything, lift it up higher. You might look back at that right arm, make sure it's not bent. One more, and then we're going to hold it, hold it, hold it. That's to help strengthen the hips. And then we're going to make some circles, and that helps lubricate. Get some fluid moving in that hip joint there. Good. We'll bring that down. And then you'll come up to standing in whatever way works for you. Okay, just take your time coming up. Have support around if you need support. I'm going to use my blocks today because I happen to have them, just in case we go into a lunge. Okay, so we're going to stay with feet just a little bit more. We're going to separate the feet maybe a little wider than hip bone. Okay, everybody up. And then spine nice and long. And simple, somebody coined it as palm tree. So, I don't know, something just came up on my screen, so I don't know if it's on your screen. I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay, so we're going to come up onto our tippy toes, or maybe just the balls of our feet as the arms go out in front and up. And then I'm going to come down. Now, each time I do this, I might come up a little higher off my heels. And then let me say this, when you come down, maybe separate your feet a little wider and just see if that helps with balancing. Sometimes we don't know until we try. Okay, we're going to add something here. So we're going to come off our heels. You can be next to a wall or have a chair. I'm going to do a little side bend to one side, come back to center, side bend over to the other side, stay, come back up, and heels down, arms down. Okay, we got one more. So it's a twist. I think I'll go a little wider with my feet. Take the arms out to the side, come off your heels, turn towards your right, keep stretching out through your fingertips. You can look forward or back, come back through center, that would be your in-breath, and keep stretching out through the arms, go to the left, keep stretching out through the arms, and then come back and come down. So that strengthens your legs and your ankles, get your feet all warmed up, and then you can bring your feet back underneath your hips. We're going to drop the right ear over towards the right shoulder. For those of you who need a little bit more, you can bring the right hand up to feel more of a stretch. Release the hand, let the head float back, and then we'll go over to the other side. Okay, so only if I need a little bit more stretch, I can bring that arm up. Ear to shoulder, at least in that direction. Now here, I hope your legs are still working like you're in mountain. Everybody knows mountain pose. Bring the head back up. Release the hand if you had it there. So mountain pose, your thighs are lifting up. They feel engaged, okay? Then we're going to take just the left arm out to the side, up towards the sky. Reach up through those left fingertips and reach down through the right. So get a little diagonal stretch. And while I'm doing this, I'm lifting my toes up, engaging my thigh muscles. Okay, bring that arm down. Let's take the right arm up, but I'm going to stretch it, but reach the left fingertips down. See if you can get a little diagonal. I lift my toes again, keep my quadriceps engaged. So in this class, we only do a couple standing poses. It's more release the arm, relax the toes. It's more gentle, and we use props, so have whatever props around you need. Okay, so I would like to get into a little bit of balancing, so feel free to use the wall, use the chair, whatever you need, but we're simply going to bring one foot off the floor and rotate the ankle. That's it. But I want to make sure that I'm not, that standing leg, I want to make sure it's really engaged and I feel long in the torso. And you can take those arms out in any variation you want. Okay, stays, nice steady gaze, so hopefully, probably don't want to look at me in case I start to wobble. And let's bring the arms and the leg down, okay? Now, take a stance a little wider, see if this makes a difference. Let's shift the weight, bring that other leg up, and rotate the ankles. Then you can play with your arms. Does it make it more challenging, less challenging, wherever I take the arms? Nice steady gaze. And nice full breaths. Don't cheat yourself out of the breath. And we'll bring that all down. Okay. Feet a little wider here. Hands on the hips. And let's circle around. So we did this on the floor, but now we can do it standing. It might involve the legs a little bit, the further, however far you come forward. Like if you get it in the hamstrings. And then let's reverse that, going around in the other direction. Okay, next time I come back to standing, I'm going to step the feet in to the front of your mat. So you might want to have your blocks there. Even a chair helps out. We're going to sweep the arms up on an in-breath. And let's bring the hands to the floor, the blocks, or the chair. Okay. Step your right leg back into a lunge. You're welcome to put the knee down. And those of you on hard surfaces, you might want to pad the knee. So knee can be up or down, yogi's choice. But here, I'm going to take my blocks a little higher because I want you to straighten that front leg and get some more hamstring stretch there. I'm going to bend the front leg. Okay. Now you can step back or step forward, and we're going to switch sides. Okay, so nice getting into hips here a little bit more. Back knee up or down. And then I'm going to start to pull that right hip back and straighten that front leg. It's called runner stretch, hamstring stretch. You might even want to lift your toes up in the front there. Okay, I'm going to bend the front knee, step the back foot forward. Inhale, come up in a way that works for you. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale the arms up, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back. Now you have a choice. I'm going to put my back knee down. If you want to work a little harder, you can keep the back knee off the ground. I'm going to inhale the arms up. And then I'm going to bring the right hand on the front knee and do a very gentle twist. Inhale back up to center. So if you have the knee off the ground, you'd be in warrior one. As we exhale, a little twist. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, gaze can go up. And then exhale, maybe you want to twist a little bit more here. Stay in the twist. So I have my hand or my forearm on that front thigh. Back hand on the sacrum just to open up that shoulder and twist a little bit more. And bring the hands back to your floor or the blocks. You decide, do you want to step forward or maybe you just want to go back into table and switch sides. So your right foot's going to be forward. Okay. Inhale 3 times here. Exhale, a little twist towards the right. Inhale. Maybe a look up, a little back bend. Exhale, we're keeping it gentle, simple. One more time, we'll stay in the twist. The next time you go to the twist, hang out here for a little bit. Decide if you want to turn the torso a little bit more towards the right. And slowly unwind. We're all going to go into child pose from here. So your child can be with your head down, or sometimes lately I've just been putting my hands on the floor, scoot my hips back, and stretch out my lower back. So head can be to the floor or just some way of stretching your back muscles. Okay. Let's all come on all fours again. Separate your knees pretty wide and just rock your hips a little side to side. And if this is a little challenging being on your knees, you can simply sit in a chair and just rock your hips a little side to side. Okay. Then we're going to step the right foot forward again, going back into hips. I'm going to put my blocks on the inside. So did I say it right? Right foot forward or whatever side you have. Hands are on the inside. I'm in a lunge again. But this time I might bring my forearms down to the floor of the block. You don't have to, but the closer I get to the floor, I'll sink into those hips a little bit more. Okay, nice full breaths. Some of you might even take the blocks lower and you come down a little bit more. The lower you get, I can definitely feel it in my hips a little bit more, all in that groin area. Another breath. Okay, nice and slow, start to come back up. Take that right knee back. Take a moment, just feel that right side, left side, and other side. So I might move my blocks over a little bit, the left leg's coming forward, both hands on the inside of that left leg. Stay up or travel down, see what you need. Nice big breaths. Make sure that your left knee is not just dropping out to the side. Keep it kind of close in towards your left arm. I'm just staying up high, but you can go low if you want a deeper stretch. Okay. Ready to start to travel back up. Bring that leg back. Child pose. Some of you might want to go into a downward dog. Feel free to do so to stretch out the lower back from your last pose. In the groin area, your hips. Okay. We're going to come forward. Let's get off the knees for a little bit. If you have a block, you don't need two, but if you have a block, you might want it to the side. If you don't have a block, take your blanket and make it a little higher. You don't need it right now, but we'll come into this in just a little bit. Okay, so you're going to come onto your backs. We're going to do another side bend here. You can use a pillow for your head if you like. So I'm going to lay down. Bend the knees as you get down. Be mindful as you come onto the floor. And then straighten the legs out. Walk both of your legs over to the left so they're straight and they're walking over to the left. Just see how that feels in the side body. You might want to take your arms overhead if you care to. Some of you like to take the right ankle and cross it over onto the left. That's going to shorten up your leg a little bit and give you a little bit more stretch. We're going to stay for a little bit to see if we can relax the hips, the whole side body. Now, if it doesn't feel like a stretch, I'll uncross and walk over a little bit more. Okay, keep the hips down. Head relaxed. And then I'd like you to breathe into your side body. So forget about the belly, the chest. Try to open up that rib cage on the right side with breath. You could even slide your head and arms a little over to the left if you want more of a stretch. I do want to keep both shoulders on the ground. More breaths here. We're trying to relax into the pose. And then uncross, slide the legs back, slide the head, the arms, and relax, and pause in the center for a moment. Then walk your legs over to the right, as far as you want to go, as long as that hip stays down. You can cross the ankles And then if you want to take both arms or just that left arm overhead, sometimes I just scoot a little to the right, create a little bit more side bend. So the right side's contracting a little bit, and your left side, if you take some nice deep breaths, you'll get a little massage into that rib cage on that left side. If you don't feel anything, uncross, wiggle over a little bit more towards the right. You might as well get the deepest stretch you can to where it feels like you can feel like something's happening there, but there's no discomfort. It's a nice stretch. Couple more breaths. And uncross, bring the legs back, slowly relax your arms, readjust yourself, pause in the center. And then let's bring our feet onto the floor. You're going to lift your hips up, and it could just be a little bit, lifting the hips off the ground. I'm going to slide my right heel along the mat. Keep my hips up, but extend that right leg along the floor. Okay, slide that heel back in. Both knees bent, hips still off the ground. Slide the left heel along the mat. But I'm still kind of keeping my hips lifted here. So you have to work a little bit. Slide the heel in, feet on the floor, hips, come to the ground. Hands on your chest. Inhale, lift your hips up, take your arms out to the side. Nice and slow, exhale, bring the hands back to the chest, the hips down to the earth. Let's go slow, let's do 4 more. Inhale, opening, stretching, even pressing the back of the hands into the floor. And then as you come down, the hands to the chest, let your hands and hips touch at the same time. Okay, couple more. Inhale. You don't want too much support for your head in this pose because you're lifting up and most of the weight goes on your neck. Okay, last one. Stay and hold for 2 breaths. So here I might press into my feet, lift my hips up just a little bit more. Maybe press into my feet, lift the hips up a little bit more. Nice and slow, lower the hips down, and then your arms can just come to the side. Okay? Stay there. I'm going to come up, and you can stay there. In your bridge pose, so now you're going to lift just your hips up and either place your block underneath your sacrum, or you can take that folded blanket and put it underneath your hips. Try not to turn your head in this position, okay? Because the weight, you're slanted, okay? So we're in a modified bridge pose. Okay, see how it feels, readjust the blanket or the block. And then I'm going to offer you, if you want to extend the right leg along your mat so the heel can still stay on the floor, your hips are elevated by that block or blanket, and you extend that right leg. See what it feels like. If it stretches in the groin a little bit, get into the psoas. Okay, let's slide that leg in, and then slide your left heel out. So the heel stays on the ground, and you stretch the legs, see how it feels. If it's not working for you, then just keep both knees bent. Now you can keep the left leg out there if you want and extend your right leg as well. So both legs, heels are on the floor, but your legs are extended. To me, it's not much of a back bend because my hips are elevated and I have the support there, but if it doesn't work for your back, just keep the knees bent. Okay, a few more breaths there. We're going to change this up a little bit. So we're doing variations on bridge pose, which typically bridge pose is a back bend. With a little support there, it might not feel as much of a back bend for you. So let's bring both legs in, feet on the floor. Now I'm going to ask you, still using your support underneath your hips, lift one leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, so you're balancing on the block. If that feels secure, then you can take the second leg up. Okay, so now you're in this, someone coined it as waterfall pose. And you get all that blood from your feet, your legs, just rushing down into your pelvis. Okay? So stay maybe about a minute here, or come out and do something else we just did, or be creative. Some of you might want to do a split with your legs up there on the block. You can take your legs wide. You could even go into a bound angle, bottoms of the feet together and your knees out to the side. You can play, be creative. Just a few more seconds here. And some of you, I have some wooden blocks. Some blocks are harder than other blocks. These foam blocks are usually kind of nice. Okay, so if your legs are still up, if you'll start to bring one at a time, bring one foot on the ground, the other foot on the ground, you're going to press into the feet, lift your hips up, take your time, slide your support out, and come onto your backs, and just pause there for a moment. Okay. From there, we're going to hug just the right knee in towards the chest. So you're still on your back, and hug the right knee in, maybe a few rotations with the ankle. Good. Release the right leg. Let's bring the left leg in. Hug it in as strongly as you can. Bring it in towards the chest. Couple rotations. Or point and flexed. Get that joint, that foot, that ankle moving. Okay. And you're going to bend both knees so you can keep the left knee in. We're going to roll over to one side and come to a seated posture. And I'll give you, most of you, you know what you like. Don't like. So if I'm giving you something you don't like, I'm sure you'll come up with something. So I want to do a chest opener and work with some breathing here. Up to you. I'm going to take 2 blankets. I'm going to have my block for my head. Okay. Now, if you have a bolster, you can put a bolster or some pillows underneath your knees. So this is our setup, but let me just show you. If you have 1 blanket, that's fine. If you have 2, but you want to slide this one down, if you have back sensitivity, then your butt can sit on that, and then you can lower down. Okay? So 1 or 2 blankets. You're going to be here about a good 4 minutes. So I want to make sure you're comfortable, you know, especially for this class, because we do most of the poses on the floor. Just grab some pillows or whatever you might have to make yourself comfortable, okay? So we're going to do this chest opening. It could be a back bend if you kept both blankets stacked. Okay? Legs straight, bent, or crossed. That doesn't matter. Just see what feels good. So take a moment. Just, do you have to readjust or slide your hips away from your support? Does that feel better on the lower back? Sometimes I like that. I like the blankets just to hit across the shoulder blades. Okay? Okay. Now, legs, any way you want. Arms, maybe we could do a little bit of sweeping the arms overhead slowly, just to see, is there a little catch in the shoulder? Is there a little opening in the shoulder? The inhale would sweep the arms. Doesn't have to be all the way overhead. Okay. 2 more of those. That is, every time you lift the arms up, you're creating, it's a back bend. So just know, if that doesn't feel right, you're not going to do it. Then find a place that you want the arms. You can change up. You still got another, what is it, like another 2.5, 3 minutes here. And then I'd like you, I'll read you the prayer. It's actually a prayer for tomorrow. For, it's called, well, it's from the Course of Miracles. So if you're not comfortable, come out of the pose. If you're comfortable, get that nice chest opening, nice full breaths. From A Course in Miracles, fear does not gladden, healing does. Fear always makes exceptions, healing never does. Fear produces disassociation because it induces separation. Healing always produces harmony because it proceeds from integration. So I'm sure all of us can use some type of healing, if not personally, maybe collectively, into our community and beyond. So let the breaths flow. Change up the arms, change up the legs as much as you want to. Eyes can soften. Exaggerate the breath. Just these next 3 breaths. When you inhale, if you'll hold the breath for maybe 2 seconds, and then as you exhale, let all the breath out and pause for 2 seconds. Try that. If it's not comfortable, don't do the pauses. Okay, so we're going to inhale. That little recitation is going to help strengthen our lungs. Exhale, pause at the bottom of the exhalation. Okay, let's just do 1 more of those. Then you can go back to your regular pattern of breath. While we're here in this pose, eyes open or closed, but let's do something for our eyes. So starting at 12 o'clock on a clock, our eyes are going to start to go around the clock clockwise, really stretching the muscles of the eyes. Now that the wind's picked up a little bit, or if you have allergies, it's good to move the eyes. And then counterclockwise, when you get there, really stretch them. This will bring a little moisture into the eyes, so it helps lubricate the eyes. Good. Next time you come back up to that 12 o'clock point, you can relax the eyes, and then we're going to bend the knees. Please go nice and slow. Bring your arms closer to your side body. And roll up to a seated position. And I'll give you a couple choices for the next pose, okay? So this, if you have 2 blankets or a bolster, I kind of like at least 2 blankets because I want a little higher. You can always use beach towels or something like that if you have it. We're going to do the belly down pose. Now, if this doesn't work for you, we'll be here about 1.5 minutes. You can certainly go into child pose if you want. If this works for you, I'll have my collarbones just at the edge of the blanket. I don't know if you can see it, I might be a little too close. And then my legs are going to go a little wider. And I can use my block or a pillow or my hands, but your head has to stay centered. Okay? So belly down pose or child pose. And And of course, you're in the comfort of your own house. If there's something else you'd rather do, go for it. This belly down pose, especially those of us gardening a little bit more, or if you have a little lower back, this relaxes or can relax the lower back. Okay. For another minute here, either child. And if you're in child, you might want to pad the knees or put a blanket underneath your feet. Be comfortable. Okay, just a few more. Now here you can really breathe into the back part of the lungs. It was something Jerry Sue sent me on this breathing, and I didn't realize, like, your lungs are so much more exposed to the back part of your body. So you could really, in this belly down pose, really exaggerate the breath into the back part of your body. So you fill the whole back part of your body with breath. Okay. Now, just to let you know, those of you in the belly down pose, we're not ready for Shavasana yet, but if that's a really comfy pose for you, you can certainly do that for Shavasana because it doesn't work your muscles there. Okay, so when you're ready, if you're ready, because you can always join us in a little bit. What I'm going to do, and if you have a bolster, you can use that instead. But I'm going to take, well, I don't have to go up that high. I could take 1 or 2 blocks, but that's at the end of my blanket or bolster, so it elevates a little bit more. If you need a pillow for your head, you can use that. But what we're going to do is put the legs, we're going to get a little elevation. This week is not chair week, so we can get our legs a little elevation. I bend my knees when I come down and use my elbows and then use my ab muscles as I come down, even holding the head if you like. And then your legs are going to go over that laying up. So they have a little elevation here. Okay, see how that feels? Few breaths, let the lower back settle in. And your arms, I have my hands behind my head. So I just like that. It opens up the chest a little bit and the mid back and the armpits a little bit. Let your legs relax up on your support. They're a little elevated. And then I didn't say this, but if you have a chair, you could also use the chair if you prefer. Then I'm going to bend my knees and let my knees drop out to the side and go into bound angles. So I get another hip opening here. Okay, so the bottoms of the feet are together, knees dropped out to the side. The feet are up a little higher, so it's going to let gravity take those knees down towards the floor a little bit. Okay, let's stay here for several breaths. Here you might exaggerate the breath into the belly, abdominal breaths. Let the belly expand with breath, and then on the exhalation, let the navel fall back towards your mat. Okay. Hip opening, probably getting a chest opening if the hands are behind your head. Okay, let's bring the feet back onto the roll, the blanket, extend the legs out, and then lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. You can hold it if you want, but I just want you to make some circles here. Another hip stretch. So I'm rolling the right leg around relatively straight. I can press out through the heel. I can take it all the way over to the right side. Come on up, cross the body down towards the other foot. So rolling that hip around, that leg around. One more time around. And then we'll lower that leg. Take the other leg up. First you'll feel a hamstring, no doubt. And then you can make circles, crossing the body, bending the knee if you need to, straightening the leg. Just play with it, see what feels good. Rolling that hip socket around, femur bone in the hip socket. And bring that leg down. So both knees are going to be bent. Their feet are probably still on your blanket. That's okay. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Flex the foot. And thread the needle here. So you can pick up the left leg and thread the hands through, or simply keep the foot down. I'm going to offer you some if you want to tuck your chin and bring your forehead in towards that right leg a little bit, you can. So I even rock my hips up a little bit like I'm curling my body in this thread the needle. Be careful of your neck. When you lower it down, I keep the chin, and I could even use one hand to let the head come down, but I keep the chin in towards the chest. Then let's extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. Still thread the needle, and then I'm pointing and flexing the left foot. And of course, I know you all have variations you like. Be creative. Good. Let's hug that left leg in a little bit more for that final hip stretch on the right side. And then bend the left leg, release the hands, uncross. Place the feet onto your blankets. I just feel a lot of energy moving in that right leg. Let's take the left over the right. Stay here or thread your hands through. Grab the back of your right leg. Okay? Options. Hang out here, tuck the chin. Even take the sacrum off the ground a little bit, like you're making yourself into a little ball here, forehead towards the shin. And then nice and slow, I'll go back down. We'll extend the right leg to point and flex. Feel the top of the foot, feel the back of the leg. Spread the toes even. Good. Let's bend the right leg, release the hands, bring the feet back onto your roll, and do extend those legs out. Okay. Take your arms overhead, stretching the arms, point the toes down. So what I'd like you to do is feel stretch in the tops of the feet, because you're trying to get your toes down towards the floor. And stretch your fingertips back, and then relax the feet, and then relax the arms. Bend the knees once more. We're going to drop the legs over to the right. Just hang out for a moment. Maybe arms in cactus, bent to elbows. Head can go to the left. Okay, let's bring the head and knees back up. Drop the knees over to the left. Your variation, you know, if you separate the knees a little bit, it's easier. But if you bring the knees directly on top of one another, it's a little bit more challenging. More so in the lower back. We're feeling nice big breaths on that right side rib cage. And back to center. Let's hug both knees in, hands around the knees. And one hand on each knee. Go ahead and make some circles. Just roll around here. Maybe 3 times in each direction. And feet back down onto the blanket. Extend your legs out. Okay, I'm going to come up, but you're just going to keep your legs extending out. And let's turn the head towards the right. Now, if you have to have bent knees here, you can do that too if that feels best. And then bring the head back to center, and then take it over to the other side. Back through center. And one more time with those eyes, we're going to go around the clock, really moving the muscles of the eyes. So really, like when you get over the 3 o'clock, you're really bringing the eyes over, down, over to 9 o'clock, up to 12, and then counterclockwise. So there's a whole program. I actually want to lead it sometime, like yoga just for eyes. It's amazing how many things you can do for your eyes and keep them healthy and strong. So one last one for your eyes, you're going to blink. Squeeze your eyes for a couple seconds and then open and then squeeze and then open. And especially a couple more of these, because my doctor told me to do these. You're actually supposed to squeeze for 10 seconds, he says, because most of us are on devices so much that he says it's really important to move the eyes in different direction, but also to get them moist, because we're not blinking the way we used to, okay? Because our eyes are more on devices and that. They're blinking a little bit, but they don't really blink, okay? And let's see, one more pose. So let's go ahead and bring the feet onto that blanket. We'll keep this set up for now. The feet on the blanket. And then what I'd like you to do, arms by your sides. You're going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling and your left arm back behind you. And then bring that leg down and alternate. So this cross patterning can help us with our brain. So opposite arm to leg. And you might get that, but get the stretch also. Take that leg up, press back through the heel, maybe stretch back through the fingertips. 2 more times on each side, alternating, getting the hamstring stretch, shoulder stretch. Nice big breaths. Okay. This can be your last one, or just make sure you're nice and even. And after this, you're going to set yourself up for relaxation, Shavasana. Now, if you like that setup we have, or you have already, you can simply do your legs elevate a little bit more. Some of you might want to grab your chair. You can take those blankets horizontally and have your knees over those, okay? So take another minute or so here if there's another pose you want to do. Make sure you're warm enough, and then you're relaxed. You get a good 5 minutes of Shavasana. Of course, you're in your own home, so if you want to stay a little longer, you can stay a little longer. You might just want to mute me so I don't disturb you if you want to stay there a little longer. Okay, once you get settled in, I'd like to do a little meditation. It's metta meditation. It's just 4 lines. So if these words resonate with you, feel free to say them to you out loud or to yourself. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then we'll go into Shavasana. May I be free from fear. May I have mental happiness. May I have physical happiness. May I dwell in peace. So if you would dwell in peace while you come into your Shavasana. Remember, Shavasana is very helpful for your immune system. We want to de-stress here, so that's why we have to let the body be comfortable, but we also have to have that mental happiness as well. We have to let the mind relax from thoughts and doing. Okay, then we settle into Shavasana. The organs just fall back down and towards your support. Let the breath be peaceful as we transition to this very, very relaxed state of Shavasana. And very relaxed, and yet noticing your breath, perhaps pausing up at the top of the inhalation for a second or two. And as you let all the breath out, pause at the bottom of the exhalation. And do that once more where we inhale. There's a pause. And exhale. There's a pause at the bottom of the exhalation. And then we'll start to bring the knees in towards the chest. And roll over to one side. Take your time. Like I said, you might need a little bit more time here, so you can certainly stay where you are. Once we all come to center, we'll bring the palms to the heart center. No rushing. Eyes soften once again. Perhaps there's 3 things already today that you're grateful for. Maybe acknowledge those gratitudes. I heard it on the news where they say when you have gratitude, it actually helps with the immune system as well. So let's be thankful for all that we have and thankful for all that we don't have. If you care to, you can seal our practice with the sound of Om by taking breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. If you have any questions about the practice or you just want to stay on for a moment, some of you know one another, and if you want to just check in or say hello, feel free to do so. So you can always just unmute and unvideo yourself if you want to see others. Thanks again for coming. So there's class Monday, and then next Thursday, if you're interested in the Yoga Nidra, let me know and I'll send you, it's a different password for that, okay? Hey, Josephine. Maybe you can unmute. Let me unmute everybody. Okay, there you go.